Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. It is Wednesday, November 5th. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. Thank you to the Insurance Circle agency, myinsuranccircle.com. Okay, we have a really packed show.
We do.
Because it's our final week of the Prates Place Game Picks.
Woo!
We have made it to the final
We have.
week. It all comes down to this.
It all comes down to this.
And you're up by 2?
I'm up by 2 picks, yep.
We'll see who we pick.
Yeah, it's a loaded one. We got a lot of games to discuss. So.
I still hate some of these games you put in.
Dude,
I
put in some real trash NFL games, but I thought it'd be fun because, we got to have a little bit more in this last one. So I figured more chances for you to take the lead. I mean, we could easily differ in 3 of them and you could take the lead. So
Or more.
Or more.
Our very last game, I might make a shocking pick.
Oh, I can't wait to hear. I'm scared.
You should be.
No.
All right. Before we take a short break and then welcome in Nick Laporte, by the way, he's going to be with us again for the game picks. I have to give a shout out to Matt Kibbe.
Oh, what did he do?
So, before we show the clip, because I do want to show the clip.
We have a clip
here.
for this. Okay.
Yeah. Can we? Let's show.
We're gonna
can we cut to a clip?
We're gonna cut to a clip in a second.
So Matt Kibbe, by the way, great sports announcer for us at JTV, but he also does ESPN Plus for Oakland and Detroit Mercy. Yep. He's done Michigan volleyball before for Big Ten, and lots of other assignments. He's great. Me and him did the Cascades Championship together.
Yeah,
and that was awesome. But he did PA for Oakland women's basketball Tuesday night. And it was like, it must have been like kids' night or something. Something like that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of kids there. And Oakland was at 64 points.
Okay.
So they needed a 3 for 67, the 6-7 joke.
God almighty.
And that's what this is about, which I'm tired of hearing, by the way.
Oh, no. What did Kibbe do?
Well, you'll have to watch the clip
I guess we'll watch.
and find out. I did not expect it to blow up as much as it did. I didn't see it at first. My brother sent it to me.
What is this on TikTok or what is this
on?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I just checked before we started. 1.5 million views.
Whoa. Okay.
Kibbe's going viral.
All right. Let's take a look then.
Yeah. Let's cut to a clip.
This could be cinema. Please take a 3. No. Yeah, take a 3. Take a 3. They want it. No. 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 Yes. Oh. She can get it. She can get it. Clearing foul on number 30, Samantha Holscher. Her first team score. 2 shots for Layla Gold. Please hit it. Please hit him, bro.
So shout out to Matt
Oh, my
Kibbe.
goodness. What did I just watch? That is hilarious, dude. That is really funny. Good on Matt Kibbe.
Well, and the segment that Max Fritz did yesterday at Spring Arbor for the field trip day with Western, a lot of kids were doing that video.
I
too.
saw that, dude. I watched that late last night, and I was like, what are we doing?
So shout out to Matt Kibbe.
My goodness.
I do not want to hear that again.
Yeah, that is so funny, though. Good on him.
Yeah, this current generation is what's going to bring our society down. I'm not the first one to say that. That's coming from Noah.
Well, we're gonna have to send this to him. Us talking about that because that's pretty funny.
All right, now on that note,
All right.
we can move on.
Let's do
Take
it.
a quick break. When we come back, Prate's Place game picks. Nick Laporte's going to join us. Our final week of the picks.
Woo!
High school football district playoffs
Woo!
after the break. Welcome back here on JTV. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. And our final week of the game picks.
Oh, man, here we go.
Our final one. Thank you to Prate's Place in downtown Grass Lake. Thank them for their support of the show
Yeah.
and the partnership all season
sure.
long.
Yeah.
So they also sponsor the Friday Night Football scores you can find after all the games each week online at jtv.tv. And back with us, joining us for the game picks, second time on the show, Nick Laporte back with us for the picks as well. Nick, how's it going? And appreciate you joining us again.
That's 18-4, Nick Laporte, from last time I was on.
Woo!
Maybe 16-6 with the spreads of college and pros. But yeah, I'm going
man.
with 18-4.
I like that.
18-4.
Going well. Actually, my birthday was yesterday, and I think I'm going to meet my son and my daughter at Prate's Place, so I'm going to check out for the first time. So
Hey, all
Hey,
right.
there you go. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Yes.
And Prate's Place, definitely go check it out. So you'll have a great meal there. So,
thank you.
all right. Well, without further ado, we have a lot of NFL games to get to after the high
That's
school
right.
games.
And I do want to say that going into the final week, we only separate by 2 wins. So this is
You're-
for all the marbles right
you're
now.
ahead
I'm up by 2.
by 2.
So that's it. We've stayed pretty close this entire time, which is crazy. I mean, we picked almost probably maybe close to 200 games. Probably after this, it'll be 200 games. So not bad to be only separated by 2. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think most of these high school games we're going to pick the same.
And that's why I put so much pros in here, because I figured that we're going to differ there, because I doubt in high school we're going to differ that much with what games I'm looking at here. So we'll see what happens. But you got to make up some ground.
I hope so, because I'm not wearing a Lions jersey for the second year in a row.
We'll see.
All right, without further ado, let's start with the Friday night games. Let's start in Division 2. This game not in our viewing area, but we did want to throw this one in. Division 2, 9-1 Dexter at 10-0 South Lyon. South Lyon beat South Lyon East 45-21 last week in the first round. Dexter beat Livonia Franklin 42-7. Last time these two teams met, 2022 district final, Dexter won 24-7. I am going to, because I like Chelsea and their rivals with Dexter. I know that sounds weird for, kind of opposite for me
Yeah,
to say
I see what
there.
you're doing.
But I am going to take Dexter to eliminate South Lyon and give them their first loss. So give me the Dreadnoughts of Dexter. Let's go to Nick.
I have a little bit of preference. My girlfriend's son plays for the team, so I've seen them 5 or 6 times. South Lyon, they play in the Lake Valley Conference, which they don't have to play the Brighton and the Howell. They get to play the Wall Lake schools, Warren, Mott, Midland, so it gets a little break there. South Lyon does have a really good sophomore kicker, 43-yard field goal, I think, last week. They are pretty good, senior heavy, not really a superstar. Dexter has, I think, 6 or 7 kids that are going to go play college. They have some big playmakers on offense with Holdenini and Cole Navarre, which is actually a Michigan State baseball commit, but he has MLB speed, 6.6 and a 60 dash I saw. 2 good college-level linebackers at Dexter. On the road, it's supposed to be rainy. They have a good junior running back in Brady Arbaugh. I'm going to say Dexter probably by a touchdown or 10 points. South Lyon's offense or schedule did not look very good. They did have a win over a decent Walled Lake Western team, but that conference is pretty weak other than that. So go Dreads, 7 points in probably going to be a rainy game.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go with Dexter here too, and I think it's when you look at 10-0 versus 9-1, you might think that it's a super close matchup, but I think when you start looking into the schedule that South Lyon had, you might be able to pick out a few games that are kind of gimmies. So I think Dexter's the better team. I'm going to pick Dexter here, and I think, it'll be probably, I'll say a one-score game by the end of it. We'll see what happens, especially if it's a rainy game like Nick says. So
yeah, I hope.
Dexter's only loss was to a Saline team, which is undefeated, and Tommy Carr. He went off for, I think, 500 and almost 50 yards, 6 touchdowns in the game.
Wow.
Without him, they would have beat a really solid Saline team, which has a Michigan commit, Georgia tight end commit, some really good defensive players. If Tommy Carr wouldn't have gone off, Dexter would have won that game.
All right, let's go to Division 5, 9-1 Michigan Center. Michigan Center defeated a 4-5 Romulus team last week, 50-14. According to our boss, Noah Baker, Romulus traveled, they didn't travel. Empty seats, man.
He sent us that picture when he got there. It was not packed.
But no, 9-1 Michigan Center going to Ann Arbor to take on 10-0 Ann Arbor Father Gabriel Richard. By the way, that game is not at Gabriel Richard. That game is being played at Ann Arbor Huron's Field because Gabriel Richard does not have lights at their field.
Really? They don't have lights on their field?
You'd think a private school would
have
enough money to keep the lights on. But listen, we've been picking Michigan Center. We've been high on them all season.
Yeah.
But Richard is averaging over 50 points per game, almost 55 this year. I mean, that's ridiculous. 55 points a game. And you thought Michigan Center scored a lot of points. We've said it, too, the last couple shows. We know this game coming up for Michigan Center, and here we are for it. So I want to take Michigan Center and support the local team. But
oh, I threw the butt in there.
Richard has just scored too many points. Michigan Center, even though they won 50-14 last week, they had quite a few mistakes. It was sloppy. Some personal foul penalties, just not very disciplined, and that's not the kind of game you want to have against a 4-5 team, especially when you know the team you're going to play this week. So I'm going to take Ann Arbor Gabriel Richard. So unfortunately, I think for the Cardinals, their season comes to an end here.
Unfortunately, I agree with you. Gabriel Richard played some stiff competition. They beat a 9-1 Cabrini team, which is still in the playoffs. Northern Northern. They're 7-2. They lost to Harper Woods last week, or they would be in the playoffs still. Gabriel Richard has a transfer quarterback, Fisher Thompson. He actually transferred from a powerhouse in Indiana, from Indianapolis, called Cathedral, another Catholic school. He started there as a sophomore. Last week, he had 4 passing touchdowns and a running touchdown just in the first half. Then they shut it down for whoever they played. In order for Michigan Center to even keep it close, they probably have to really rely on Hayden with his legs and his arms to hopefully maybe get up by 7 or 10 early and just try to hold that power offense off. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think this is going to be an offense that Michigan Center hasn't seen this year, with that much passing ability, with that much athleticism that we normally just don't see here in that level at D5 here in Jackson. Gabriel Richard will pull away in the fourth quarter. I think it'll be closer than it ends up looking on the scoreboard, but I think Gabriel Richard probably by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you know how I said I thought Michigan Center could go far in this. And I've picked them all year, really liked Michigan Center. But I was hoping this...
Put my butt in there.
Yeah, I did. I was hoping this matchup wouldn't happen because I do know how good of a team Ann Arbor Richard is. Fortunately, I'm going to have to pick them. Now, obviously, I'm rooting for Michigan Center the whole way, and I hope that they are going to be able to get the upset here, which this, even though it's a 9-1 to a 10-0, this would be an upset.
This would be a big upset.
Yeah, because of how good Richard has been all year and how many points they can put up. I mean, what'd you say, like averaging over 50 a game?
Yeah, 50 to 55 points a game.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, if Michigan Center, to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Michigan Center makes mistakes, like we have seen the last few weeks, they're going to get torn apart.
Yeah.
I think they're going to clean some stuff up. I think this will be a little bit closer, but man, it's a really tough task. I have to take the favorite in this one. I'm taking Ann Arbor, Gabriel Richard, but I think Michigan Center, if they play extremely well, play a perfect game, they can win this game. So I'm rooting for you guys, but
they have to play a perfect game.
Exactly. So I'm going to make the safe choice here.
And Ann Arbor beat a 5-4 team last week.
Yeah.
Michigan Center beat a 4-5 team.
Yeah.
Richard beat 5-4 Detroit. Cody 57-6.
Yeah.
So
if this does end up being a shootout, though, this still goes into Gabriel Richard's favor. And all year we've been able to say that for Michigan Center. So I think this is just where the road could end. But boy, I would love to see them get past them.
All right, let's go to Division 6, 7-3 Napoleon going to, not going very far, just right into Jackson.
Yeah.
Napoleon going to Lumen Christi High School to take on another 7-3 team and the Titans. Napoleon held on to defeat Buchanan last week, 26-20. That was the only close game we had in the area last week. And then Lumen beat 4-5 Onstead, 59-7. Now, these two teams have a little bit of playoff history. We've seen that in recent times. The last time these two teams met were the 2023 district final, and then when they met in the state semifinals at Chelsea, we were at that game in 2022 when they were both in Division 7. Now, Lumen has won 11 straight district championships. I mean, that's
unreal.
That's unreal. And the last time Lumen lost in this round was to Parchment in 2013.
Whew.
That was the last time they lost a district final. And the last time Napoleon won a district title was 2022 when they went to the semis and lost to Lumen.
Yeah.
So, listen, I keep saying it. I love Napoleon and Coach Shell, and I love Full House T football. But, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but it's Napoleon and it's Lumen Christi. And you look at who Lumen Christi's played and their murder's row of a schedule and who they've beat or even been able to hang with. And then, Napoleon, their 3 losses were to their non-conference, Fruitport, which is 2 or 3 divisions higher than them, so throw that out the window. But then the 2 teams that made the Cascades Championship, Hanover and Center. So besides those 2 games, Napoleon still had a really good year. But I do think the road for Napoleon ends here against Lumen Christi. So I do think it'll be a little bit closer than what some people might think. Some people might think, well, this isn't Full House T compared to like when Lumen's going to play Ida or Constantine or somebody like that. And I can agree with that, but I'm going to have to take Lumen Christi here. Although I do think Napoleon, if they want to have a shot at this, score first and get a stop, and then they have to hold the ball literally for 9 minutes just to keep Lumen's offense off the field.
Yep.
So, but I'm still going to take Lumen Christi.
Agreed. Napoleon Buchanan is perennially a solid to above average team. I think that's a really good win for Napoleon. Ashton Warner, Brady McLean had a good game last week. But again, the buzzsaw of Lumen Christi Titans in districts, let's make it an even dozen. Benny Gaston, quarterback, the defense coming around with this triple, with what you said about the offense, Napoleon. Lumen's, traditionally and always a very disciplined team and snuffs out a lot of that weird, fancy running scheme stuff. We talked when I was on last time about that center line game. We really thought that center line game would be a real litmus test for Lumen, and they just blew the doors off that Division 4 playoff team. Lumen big. I would like to see a local good close game with 2 local schools, but I think Lumen Christi will just pull away and it'll be a running clock game by the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I'm figuring the same here. We've been able to see both of these teams play a few games this year, and that Napoleon game against Michigan Center, I think that's similar to what you're going to see here. I think Lumen Christi is going to come out, whether they get the ball first or not, they're going to come out and make a few stops, score after those stops. You're going to go up 14-0, and it's going to be hard for Napoleon to really claw their way back in with how good Lumen Christi's defense is. So
And also, sorry to interrupt
No,
really
go
quick.
ahead.
No, I just think with Napoleon, too, if they have to crawl their way back in, which is, it's no matter what team you are, if you're a T offense, it's so hard when you're down to try to come back because that kind of offense, we've said it countless times, that kind of offense can't score in 2 minutes and do a 2-minute drill. That just offense isn't made for it. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, like I can see this potentially getting to a running clock at one point if Lumen Christie's defense plays extremely well, stops those runs right up the middle, and stops that sustained drive that Napoleon always has. So, and I'm going to be down on the field, of course, for this game shooting highlights.
You've never lost.
So they've never lost with me
on
on the field. I'll keep bringing it up until we get to Ford Field. So I'm going to take the Titans here. I would love that, like Nick said, I would love for this to be a game, but I just think Lumen Christie overall is the better team, and they have a trip to Ford Field that they hope to get to. So I'm going to be taking Lumen Christie here.
It's Ford Field or bust.
Oh, always is.
All right, Division 7, 2 8-2 teams. The Vikings of Bronson going to Hanover Horton to take on the Comets. Hanover won its first ever playoff game last week. This score we did not expect, especially considering their playoff game last year against Union City. They beat the doors off Union City 44-6, and they are now looking for their first ever district title. So first ever conference championship week 9, check. First ever playoff win last week, check. And now first ever district title. They want to check that off this week. Bronson beat Jonesville 52-12 last week. Jonesville's an exceptional team, but they really have struggled and not improved as the season has gone on later, which is the opposite of what you want to do going into the postseason. So it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a one-score game or maybe 10 points. I think it could go either way. If Bronson wins, I won't be shocked by it. But if Hanover wins, I won't be shocked by it either. But I love the way Hanover's been playing, and the rushing attack has been too much for these teams that they've been playing. So I'm going to take Coach Messer and the Hanover Horton Comets to get their first ever district title. And if they win, they're going to host a regional next Friday. So I'm going to take the Hanover Horton Comets.
Bronson had a solid defensive struggle loss in the crossover, just 7-0 to Springport, which is we know is undefeated. And then their other loss is to, I believe, Decatur, which is also an 8-2 team, and they just lost last week in their playoff game to a really good White Pigeon team. This will be a close game. Hanover is on a huge high. It's going to be very evenly matched. I would say it would be a pick 'em game. But I'm going to go with Hanover with the high, the momentum, and I think the last thing, which really gives me the difference, I think they're home. If they're on the road, I probably would pick Bronson. So it's just the home field advantage, I believe, in this game is going to be the difference.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a close game. Of course, I'm going to pick Hanover in this game. It's probably just because they're one of our local area teams. So of course, I'm rooting for the Comets, but I think this is close. This is going to be decided by like 6-7 points. So I think it's going to be an extremely good game, well played game. I'm taking Hanover here. I can't wait to see the scores rolling in when I'm at Lumen to hear what's happening in this game. But yeah, give me the Comets.
Yeah, you'll probably want to pay more attention to the other scores.
I will be. Yeah, I will be.
Did you just do a Matt Kippy there? They're going to win by 6-7 points?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. And then Division 8, both games in this district we'll do here. 7-3, New Lothrop going to Spartan Stadium, not East Lansing Spartan Stadium, but Springport Spartan Stadium.
The good Spartan Stadium.
Right. They act Springport when me and Austin were there last week. I should have included it in the video highlights. They actually had a Spartan mascot there.
Oh, did they? Let's go.
Which is the first time I've ever seen that. I didn't know that. But Springport 10-0, they're looking for their first ever district championship. They got to this game last year, the second round, lost to Reading, conference rival, by 1 point, went down to the last possession. Still should have kicked the field goal. but I'm past that now. But they're looking for their first ever district title. They beat Manchester 47-8 last week. I was at that game. And then New Lothrop beat a really good Fowler team, which I was shocked by. I knew it would be a good game, but I expected Fowler to win. But it was 19-14 New Lothrop. Fowler made it to the semifinals last year and only lost by 1. So good win for New Lothrop. But they're 7-3, and Springport, I think they've just been scoring too many points. And Springport, it was only 7-0, but they beat Bronson and they beat Decatur. So there's some common opponents between the Bronson and Springport and New Lothrop and on and on. So you've been picking Springport all year.
I have been.
I have been picking Springport all year. That's not going to change.
Yeah, there you
They're going to go to 11-0, and I'm going to root for Coach Pack and the Spartans.
Yeah, Coach Pack has this team, the school, the community all in for this team. It's really been a really cool transformation over the last 2 years. Springport is very athletic, solid in all areas. New Lothrop, I looked at their roster, very young team, surprisingly, especially in some skilled positions. New Lothrop has 3 losses, and I actually have some information. My alma mater, Sheboygan, Michigan, the Sheboygan Chiefs actually went down to New Lothrop the last game of the year. It's about a 3.5-hour bus ride on a Friday night, and they went down there and only lost by 2 or 4 points. As Rob Parker says, Sheboygan is typically a soup can. Since I've been at school, I think they've only made the playoffs 1 time, so that's 25 years. So I don't date myself too much. So it was 21-26 at New Lothrop on a Friday night. Terrible bus ride for Sheboygan. Games at Springport. Traditionally, New Lothrop does have a couple of state championships and a couple different divisions, kind of like Lumen. I think Springport at home at night. Springport, all the businesses, everyone will turn their lights off, go down the field, watch the game, support this team, get their first district championship, and onward and upward to Hudson. So I'll kind of give you my pick on Hudson already, but Springport will be heading to Hudson next week for a really cool game for that region.
Yeah, I think good on New Lothrop for getting to this point. 7-3, and we didn't think. Well, you're jumping the gun. We didn't think that they'd be in this spot. I agree with you. Fowler looked like that team that was going to be back here, but there's your but. But Springport has just been so dominant. Has looked so good. I believe they will continue to be undefeated, and they're going to continue to roll. I don't necessarily know how close this game is going to be. I think Springport is the better team here. So I'm going to take the Spartans to keep on rolling. I'm not going to pick against them yet. It's going to take a really good team for me to pick against them. They've just been so dominant, so I'm taking the Port.
Now, New Lothrop is from Springport about an hour and a half.
That's a long drive.
Just looking at the map here, it's between Chesaning, Montrose. It's like just north of Flint.
Okay.
So, little bit of a hike from Flint to Springport.
Yeah.
So I think the bus ride, they've already had that 3.5-hour bus ride. So I think another one, especially playoffs.
Yeah.
And then having the, the stamina or no stamina sitting on the bus.
Right.
Going to Springport. So, and then I'm going to take Hudson over White Pigeon. Hudson, I think, I hate to say it. I know we're not doing picks next week, but I do think Hudson will beat Springport.
Yeah, we'll still talk about
in the
them.
regional next week. And I think Hudson by far is the best team in Division 8. They're going to win the D8 state championship. So I am planning on going to that game if it all lines up. Springport at Hudson next week because I love Hudson's field, Thompson Field. You were there for that Napoleon game last year. Just legendary. And just my favorite field ever in the state of Michigan. So looking forward to that regional next Friday. So Springport, I'll take them, and I will take Hudson. All right, let's go to college.
Well, you don't want to hear my pick?
Well, I'm thinking you're going to take Hudson, right?
Yes. Yeah, no, it's going to be the same there. I'll just comment that I agree with you. I think they're the best team in D8. It's going to be incredibly hard to pick Springport in that game because of how good Hudson is. Like, going into this year, we kind of figured it was going to be them just steamrolling everybody.
And I think if you're Coach Pack and you're Springport, obviously you still have to take care of business against a good new Lothrop team. But besides that, when you look at the postseason or you start to get to the end of the regular season, you know who you have coming up on the horizon, and this is the game you have coming up.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
All right, now we can go to the Saturday.
Now
Hold on, can we talk? I want to stir the pot a little bit about the playoffs for high school before we go to college.
Yes, let me hear. Yes,
I listened to you guys on Monday with Andrew, and I am opposite. I kind of disagree with how the feelings are. I mean, if you're a 4 and 5 team, play teams higher divisions, you want to be competitive, you want to get that momentum going. Like Lumen early in the season, play some really stiff competition, some state champions and other divisions. I'm all for it. I think it's kind of like the Tom Brady effect, where it's the outlier, right? The Whitmore Lake thing is an outlier. The Warren De La Salle 3-6 team outlier. I want to give the credit to Lumen, give the credit to De La Salle going out of state, playing hard competition. If you have the points, you have the points. There is a little bit of issue with these conferences, like you said, Michigan Center, bigger school, playing a lot of smaller schools. Maybe there's a small school that has to play up. I know that in the I-8, that's been some problems in the past where some of these schools feel like they're playing against, unfair teams. But I think in the greater scheme of football at high school level, Mark Yule, the director, Andy Freshour, another executive director, I think they do a really good job. And I think these two circumstances that came up there are a greater scale of an outlier if you're thinking statistics. So I just want to put my 2 cents in that I like the system. I kind of disagree with you two. So I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah. And one thing I tried to do on the show is kind of play devil's advocate a little bit and just be like, hey, I do understand trying to get teams that you're not going to punish teams for going up like a Lumen Christi, like you said, facing these really tough teams. I just think that it does kind of, I don't know. I just think it's a little, I'm good with everybody getting in and then going from that point, because if you're good, I would feel like that going through a tournament bracket makes sense, and giving those teams with those division winners, or however Andy originally structured it, saying that they got to buy. I think that's kind of the best of both worlds. You get teams that get that experience. I don't know, David, what do you have?
Well, Andy, his thing was you only play 8 games instead of 9.
I do like the extra playoff game.
And everybody gets in instead. Yeah. Now, back to your point, Nick, about, I'm not saying that, we're talking about punishing teams or whatever just for playing tough competition. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or good whatever, but I give credit, like you said, to Lumen Christi, because also, to be fair though, the part of the reason why Lumen Christi, just to put the truth out there, has why they've had to play some of these higher up teams are out of state.
I know where you're going with this.
It's because nobody in this area has wanted to play them, because they know they're going to get their behind kicked by them.
But then you also have those teams.
So that's why they've had to play some of those teams. And that's not Lumen's fault, though. But I think, Onstead, though, I mentioned this. Onstead's 4 and 5. Onstead's Division 6, though. And you still lost to a team 2 divisions lower than you. You lost to Ida, who's a division lower than you. Clinton, who's a division lower than you. You lose to 3 or 4 or 5 teams that are divisions lower than you, and you still make the playoffs. I just think it's certainly either way. Like when the MHSA, I think at some point they have to come back to this and go, okay, do we want to keep doing this moving forward, or do we want to go back to 5 and 4 and you get in, or 6 and 3? I think it's certainly interesting. I think at some point, if we could get somebody from the MHSA on the show,
yeah, that would be very interesting.
I think just from their perspective, why they think this is the way to go.
Yeah.
There's ups and downs both ways, because like Lumen Christi playing higher up competition, but then if you're Michigan Center, lower competition, but that's just because their conference. Or I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just,
I do. It is weird because with that format, if we went with that format, you could still have these teams with lower records still making a run in the playoffs. So you still might have a 4-5 team or even a worse record go on a small run and face a Lumen Christi team. I think that those things could still happen. I think it would be interesting to hear the full-on reasoning why we're doing this format. Because, like we said before, it is different. You know, football is completely different than any other sport, the way that they do those.
Yeah, that 3-6 team, Warren De La Salle, they won 56-34. They beat Fitzgerald. So with their point structure and the 3-6 schedule, they won their first game. Now they have to play home. I think they're playing Port Huron. So
yeah.
Well, sorry,
they could definitely make a run in D2 or D1, wherever they're at, 3.
Well, I'm just looking up Michigan Onsted's schedule though. Like Onsted lost to Michigan Center week 1, 42-0, which that's a division higher than them. But besides that, lost to Hudson, 2 divisions lower than them. Lost to Ida, division lower than them. Clinton, division lower than them. Madison, division lower than them. So,
and just real quick to piggyback off of this, I think our big thing isn't. I'm not upset about the smaller the teams with the worst records getting in. That's not my issue at all. Like, I think that that's totally okay because in that bracket style format, it would happen anyways. I more don't want to punish a 7-3 Grass Lake team from, I think that was last year. I think they were 7-3. I don't want to punish them.
6-3 and they missed the playoffs.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I meant.
And it's the same thing with. Sorry to cut you
go
off,
ahead.
but with Grass Lake though, same thing with Michigan Center. Michigan Center's D5 and they're playing Cascades, who are 6, 7, and 8. But with Grass Lake, they're Division 6. But it's what they can't do anything about it though. Which for them it sucks, but for Grass Lake, they're Division 6, and they're playing, you know, other than Michigan Center, who's 5, they were 6 last year, but 5. I mean, they're playing Homer, who's not a very good D8 team. East Jackson, who's not a very good D8 team. They didn't have a team this year, but D8. Vandercook Lake, who's Division 8. Leslie, who's 7. So you get my point, though, is like you're punishing Grass Lake or somebody like that just because that's the conference that they've been in since 1955.
That's why I think there needs to be just a small little balance between this, because I don't want a team to get punished for that. I'm okay with those smaller teams getting in.
I just think
but
something has to change.
Yeah,
something.
I'd just be curious if things get brought up of like, hey, this is the way we can avoid having a team that only has 3 losses on the year from missing out on the playoffs. That's a real tough thing to happen to a team.
Now, I don't know how it would work, but I think you could still do the point system, but guarantee, though, no matter who you play, 6 wins and you're in. Because I said we need to go back to 6 wins and in. But if you keep the point system, I think if you win 6 games, you still have to be in. You're 6-3. You won 2/3 of your games, and you don't get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
To me, that's disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of interesting answers and thoughts provoking for sure. What do you guys think any going off this one last high school thing? I heard you say you think Hudson's going to win the state championship. Where are we at with the other divisions in our area, the D5, 6, 7, 8? For who do you guys have for state champions?
Well, I think in Division 5, I think it's going to be Ann Arbor Richard, I think, to me, is the favorite. Division 6, Lumen's the favorite. But I think if anybody's going to stop them, I think it would be probably Almont.
Yeah, I believe that's the state championship game myself.
Me too.
I have Lumen beating Almont and then replaying Traverse City St. Francis and beating them at Ford Field.
Yep. And then, I mean, Division 7, now, I think Hanover wins this game, gets to the regional, but then either Schoolcraft or Lawton, I think Hanover loses in the regional, but then that leaves them with Schoolcraft Millington semi, which would be a really good game. Both teams have played Lumen. So we've seen them before. I think Division 7, I think you're going to get a St. Francis Millington final. I don't know who wins that game, but one of St. Francis or Millington in 7, and then Hudson in 8. So,
yeah, in 7, I think Menominee and Paloma Westphalia will be in this, and I think Menominee wins a close one. I always heard growing up Menominee when I grew up. So I always liked that name. I always liked their coach. They play your brand the same as Napoleon. They play that wing tee, crazy trick plays, ball lost everywhere. Real fun to watch Menominee play. So I got Menominee D7, D8. I also have Hudson Tigers winning. But in D5, I have Grand Rapids West Catholic beating Gabriel Shard in the final.
oh, I take my pick back then. For some reason I was thinking Grand Rapids. Well, you said West Catholic, right?
Yeah. So in the regional final, same thing in D5. So Grand Rapids West Catholic has to play Catholic Central, like either in the district final or the regional.
Ooh.
So that's gonna be probably the top 2 teams there. But then Ann Arbor gets the downside of the bracket, which they'll go through. And I think the winner of that Grand Rapids West Catholic, Grand Rapids Catholic Central winner will go all the way through and play Gabriel Shard in that final.
Well, I've kept thinking for some reason Catholic Central was in 4, but I'm an idiot there. I knew they were in 5. I think, we had that live on JTV. Grand Rapids Catholic Central beat Lumen Christi, and that was a decent game too. Catholic Central won by a couple scores, but it was a decent game. I do think we get Catholic Central Gabriel Richard championship game, which would be really good. So I think I am going to take Grand Rapids CC.
Oh, he's rescinding his
Division
pick.
5. I am rescinding my pick. So now let's get to the college.
All right.
And
Not
NFL.
much college.
All right.
Not much college this week because there's not any good,
Oh my
really
God, they were
good
terrible
competitive games
games.
from what I saw.
Now I added you came up with the list, but I added
forgot
one-
about the Oregon.
Well, because
Iowa
the new college playoff, the first playoff rankings came out last night. So when I saw both teams were ranked top 25, and it was Big Ten, I had to add it.
for
But-
sure.
All right, College Game Day will be there. Number 7, BYU going to Lubbock, and number 8, Texas Tech. I will take BYU.
Ooh, I love it.
I'm with you. I've been watching this BYU quarterback, this true freshman, Bear Berkmeyer. It's very interesting. He was a true freshman out of California. He enrolled at Stanford. And then obviously, as you guys know, Andrew Luck took over as the general manager of Stanford. There were some allegations of Troy Taylor, their coach, with some inappropriate actions with some staffers. They fired him. Well, this guy took off. He actually had offers from Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame. Somehow he got this relationship with the BYU coach, which is a really cool story as well. The Kalani Sitka, the Tongoan, or I don't even know how you say that word, coach. He's been there 10 years. 2 different kind of changes of concepts, right? Texas Tech is known for this year spending $28 million in the portal. BYU really isn't like that. They have a lot of built kids. They groom kids. They get their talent, their best out of it. The game's down at Lubbock in a day game, though, so it won't be terribly fun. I am saying it's a 10.5 point favorite for Texas Tech, but I got Bear, the true freshman BYU player. I think they're going to upset Texas Tech down in Lubbock.
Wow. I want to make this interesting for you, David. I don't want to just run away with these picks and us be the same, throughout. Like, I would hate to do that.
You don't have to make it easy for me.
Yeah,
Pick
no.
who you think is going to win.
Yeah, no, I we'll see what happens. I'm going to take Texas Tech here. I think them being at home, trust me, I think BYU is an awesome team. They got awesome talent on that team, and they're one of those.
And they always play at 10 o'clock, the late game,
Yeah,
so I always
yeah.
get to watch them.
Yeah, exactly. You and then all the bettors, I guess, that are staying up that late to watch that in Hawaii games. But I'm going to take Texas Tech here. I think this game is super close. This will be one of the best games to watch in college football. I think it'll be a fun game, but I'm just going to go on a limb and say that Texas Tech does end up. I think they actually have a chance to potentially cover the spread late. With maybe a turnover at the end or something like that. We'll see what happens.
Is this going to be a Scott Van Pelt bad
I think it could be. I love that reference. So yeah, I'll take Texas Tech here. But I do love BYU, not to discredit what they've done. I think they have one of the best stories in football with Indiana, but I got to take the Red Raiders.
Well, with both of them being Big 12 teams, and because the college football playoff only likes the Big 10 and the SEC.
It's a huge game.
I think the loser doesn't make the playoff unless if they win the Big 12. But besides that, the loser is not going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And even though they're both good enough.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Big 12 is a mess. I mean, you get people upsetting some people, losing some games they shouldn't. I mean, it's just the Big 12, it's hard to bet. It's hard to watch some of these games where you think it should be closer. It's just the Big 12 is wild.
All right, number 3, another Texas team, the Aggies of A&M going to Missouri, and the number 22 Missouri Tigers. Missouri, big win over Pavia and Vanderbilt last week, but I like the Aggies on the road. Give me A&M.
I'm with you, A&M. I really like their dual threat quarterback, Marcel Reed. I think he's my favorite for the Heisman at the moment. They have a stacked team, good at all levels, both sides of the ball. Missouri coming off, I believe that when you said Vandy or lost to Vandy, I forgot which. Didn't they? I thought they lost to Vandy. They lost their starting quarterback Preble out for an injury. The backup Zollers, true freshman, 4-star out of Pennsylvania, solid relief, but Texas A&M just too difficult. Texas A&M covers the 6.5.
Yeah. So Vanderbilt, just to clarify, Vanderbilt won that game. Vanderbilt won by 7. In my eyes, like from what I've seen so far, I just love watching Texas A&M play. I think they're a really, really good team. I said I wanted to make this interesting for you, but there's no way I could pick Missouri in this game. I have to take Texas A&M here. I think they're the better team. I think they're just going to keep on rolling. So give me A&M.
All right, and the only good Big Ten game this week.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, at least CBS gets a good 3:30 game.
They do.
Finally. I feel I hate to go off on another tangent here.
Oh, here
but
we
just,
go.
Just really quick here because we do media, for our job, and I want to say the new TV deal this year with college football, CBS gets the 3:30 Big Ten game. They have not had a good game, at least with 2 ranked teams, the whole year until now. And CBS got themselves screwed. Because if you're CBS, they were known for the primetime SEC game, the Alabama-Auburn type games, or whatever it might be. But now they've been stuck with like Indiana beating Maryland by 58.
But you at least have Indiana, right? Like Indiana's been a huge story.
I know, but it's not a good game.
But it's not a good game. I get you there. Yeah.
Just as an announcer, too, I don't want that kind of game either. But number 9, Oregon, going to Iowa to take on number 20 and Coach Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes. Now, normally, I like Full House T football. Iowa does not run Full House T, but they like to run the ball, power formation.
Yep.
So, to me, that's just as good as Full House T.
Go.
So, because of that, I am going to go upset alert.
Wow.
Kirk Ferentz at home is going to beat Oregon.
Wow.
That was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, me neither.
What is with the Big Ten? My last little soapbox. I'm more passionate about college and high school, not so much pros. My last big question is, what's with the Big Ten scheduling? How do we have Iowa and Michigan in the top 20 of the new college football playoff, and neither of them play anyone? I think Big Ten's gonna have a big problem in their hands really soon with all these schools and not doing divisions, because I think Michigan dodged the top 4 teams other than Ohio State. I mean, they're not playing anyone that's really competitive.
Same thing with Indiana, too.
Yeah, all these schools. I mean, you get these good schools that are dodging all the major bullets. And, I mean, I would say, the Penn State-Oregon game was a really good game, but now it kind of turns out that Penn State's a bust. But, yeah, I think Big Ten's gonna have some problems in their hands going forward with how many teams they have and these weird scheduling with some opponents. But anyways, back to the game. Tricky game in Iowa City, right? Oregon's favored by 6.5, but after that Penn State game, which now is not really a great win, Oregon doesn't have a good win either. They both lost to Indiana. Penn State's basically wheels have completely fallen off. So that really cool, fun night game doesn't really mean much anymore. Oregon just is coming off the bye, but 2 weeks ago at home, they only beat Wisconsin by 14. I think Oregon might have put up 37 and shut out Wisconsin a couple weeks earlier to that. Is Oregon a little overrated? Dante Moore, Michigan guy from Detroit MLK, fast, flashy team, Oregon. Iowa, like you said, hard-nosed, old-school, run football. Definitely contrasting styles. In college football, I typically like to go the speed over the ground and pound. I know Michigan the last couple of years has had success, but Oregon, I think it'll be a close game. The contrasting styles, Oregon covers, but it'll be an ugly game. Iowa will keep it ugly at home, but Oregon will get, like you said, maybe a late field goal or a late touchdown to cover. So,
yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So with Oregon, like, I think going into this year, I thought they were going to be a top tier team. It has not looked like that so far, for sure.
Sorry, really quick. It's not like us three are saying they're a bad team. Those watching, we're just saying they haven't played anybody. Michigan hasn't played anybody.
Yeah.
Iowa, other than Indiana, they haven't played anybody either.
Right.
Indiana hasn't played anybody. And the Big Ten is the only conference right now where that's the problem. So, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and, I thought going into the season that Oregon was going to be a really good team. It doesn't really, obviously they're still ranked 9, but again, the loss to Indiana did not help. But Indiana's been on a roll. So, yeah, even though that is the case, I still think they get this win. This would not be I'll just say this would not be a fun game to bet the spread on, with it being 6.5. You might be able to get away with it, but
no.
I don't think it'd be a fun watch, because I think Iowa could lead this game early and Oregon's going to have to maybe do some late game heroics to take the win. But I'm just going to go with Oregon, because that's who I kind of thought going into this season that's who I was going to take. We'll see what happens. Some of it also is just because, man, you picked Iowa, so I can't wait to watch this game. So yeah, give me the Ducks.
All right, let's go to the National Football League. We have some awful games.
Why? Can I say something?
No, first, some of these games you put on here, why?
Yeah, because some of these have either fun storylines or recent things that happen. There's a game in the middle here. Something recently happened, and it's just like when you have two bad teams against each other. Yeah, when you have two bad teams against each other, sometimes those games are bangers. I mean, you look at like the Cincinnati game this past week.
People are gonna watch that.
But yeah, but like look at that Cincinnati Chicago game. That game was amazing, and it was with two teams that weren't really good. So who knows what could happen? But I just figured, hey, let's throw in a few extra games this week since it's the last week of official picks. So why don't you start us off with this first, Jim?
God. All right. The New York Football Giants going to the Windy City to take on the Bears. I hate the Bears, and I will never pick them in my life. Go Pack. So I'm going to take Jackson Dart. He's my quarterback right now in my Madden franchise, Jackson
This
Dart.
This is what you're going to?
So
Oh, no. Okay.
So I'm taking the Giants.
All right.
Yeah, I think the Bears have a good win last week with the Colts and Loveland play at the end. I would pick the Giants if Scadaboom was available and playing. I just love that guy. Unfortunately, he had that gruesome injury. I think the Bears, Ben Johnson gets it going a little bit, gets 2 wins in a row. I think he's starting to figure out what Caleb Williams is good at and what he's not good at. So I am going to take the Bears.
I don't think Caleb Williams is good at most things.
Okay. All right.
Go Pack.
It's funny because it's like, I know Packers and Bears have a huge rivalry with each other. Of course, I know that.
Oldest rivalry in football.
Yeah, but, and the Lions have a little bit of a rivalry with the Bears, obviously being division opponents, but it's not as big as those two teams. So you've activated my trap card because I knew you were going to pick against the Bears, and I like the Bears in this game. I agree. I think if Scadaboo was out there...
I know I'm picking the underdog, but
Yeah.
I will never pick the Bears.
No, and that's fair. I think if Scadaboo was out there, that team just looks so different with him on the field. I mean, he's one of the best young, promising running back, and I really hope that he comes back and he's as good as what we've seen. But I think I said going into this, I do like the Bears this year to perform a lot better than last year. This is a game they have to win to kind of cement that they are better than they were last year. I mean, I know they were awful last year, but I like Jackson Dart a lot. I still do like Caleb Williams. I think he's a good quarterback. I really do. So I think this is a big game for them. They're at home, so give me the Bears in Soldier Field.
All right, this is another game that's not good.
Yeah, but we had
all.
to throw it in there.
Well, I know it's the Lions, so
Yeah.
we had to. But the Lions are going to Washington to take on the Commanders and Marcus Mariota. Jaden Daniels shouldn't have even been playing in this game, let alone in the fourth quarter when they were down by 30. And it's just going to be a blowout. Lions big.
Agreed, especially with Daniels out, Lions big. FedEx Field, I was stationed when it wasn't Navy, I was stationed at FedEx Field. And even 15, 20 years ago, there's always these crazy injuries on this field. So let's hope both teams, obviously, but the Lions stay healthy, get a little more healthy. I still think they cover the spread 9.5. Mariota is a serviceable backup, but not a great backup. Lions big, cover the 9.5.
Yeah.
Rebound.
I think Lions get this huge rebound win. You said it, Nick. I mean, Marcus Mariota coming in, that does not look good. Opposite of you, I think hindsight's 2020. I probably would have still had Daniels in that game late. I know that he's had some injury problems, but
Why?
You're
he
still
wasn't even healthy going into the game.
I'm just not inclined to. I know that,
and that's Dan
but it
Quinn's
depends.
fault for no limitations on him whatsoever.
I think some of it kind
and
of
they were down by 30.
Yeah, I think some of it depends on the situation. I think they're still trying to. I know it was a big blow up, but they're still trying to put some points up on the board. So I'm not going to blame the coach fully on that, but I just think Lions need this win. This is a must win in this situation against a really bad team, and I think they're going to turn it on. I don't think this is going to be close at all. So I'm going to take the Lions, and like what Nick said, I just hope that we don't get any injuries out of this game. A lot of bad injuries last week across the league, so I hope we don't see that again. So
a lot of bad injuries historically on that field. Joe Theismann, Robert Griffin III, Alex Smith,
and MetLife. When you look at that
Jaden
too,
Daniels.
similar situation there. So yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
All right, another not very good game because the Ravens aren't very good. And the Vikings coming off that win against the Lions last week. And now the Vikings hosting the Ravens, although Lamar Jackson is back.
He is.
So they are a little better. But I still got to roll with our Michigan man, J.J. McCarthy.
Wow.
So I'm taking the Vikings over Baltimore.
I am a huge J.J. McCarthy fan. Vikings may be my second team. I have family in Minnesota. I'm going to watch the Vikings at Lambeau here in a couple of weeks. This is the Ravens season, right? If they go to 3-6, they're done. If they're 4-5, they get some momentum. In a terrible division. I think the Ravens have to get it done. I think Jim Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson being back, I think he runs a lot over the Vikings. Unfortunately, I think the Ravens are going to win and beat Minnesota because it's the Ravens season and they will play like it's their season.
Yeah, this is a different team than what we saw without Lamar Jackson. Once he's in, this is a completely different team. I'm so glad, David. I'm so glad that you picked the Vikings because Ravens, Lamar Jackson's one of my favorite quarterbacks. My favorite player in the NFL is Derrick Henry.
Same with me, but the Ravens have still struggled this year.
They have struggled, and I totally
JJ
get that.
looked really good last week.
He did. You can't knock on him for beating the Lions, but man, I'm going to take the Ravens on the road. It's like Nick said, it's a must win for them. So I will happily differ with you and take Baltimore here.
This is probably the worst game of the year.
I knew I had
human
to include
history.
This. I had to include.
I don't know
this.
why you included this.
Oh, you know
game.
this game's good.
The Browns going to MetLife to take on the Jets.
Woo.
The Jets. If you thought the Browns were bad, you should watch the New York Jets
Yes, you
sometime.
should.
I don't care about this game. 8 people are gonna watch. It's like the F game on CBS, the F team. That's how bad it is. I feel bad for the AFC South announcers who have to call these types of games every week. I would have quit by now. I don't. The Jets are so pathetic, so I'm gonna have to take the Browns.
I agree. The Jets I think they just traded away their best 2 defensive players on a really terrible team.
Oh, yeah, and I didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams.
Yep.
By the way, Quinnen Williams is also on my Madden team, but I'm still not taking the Jets.
Man.
So, yeah. I mean, this game, the better quarterback may be Dylan Gabriel, so if that tells you anything about this toilet bowl of a game. Unfortunately, Aaron Glenn is not doing very well. He did great in Detroit, not great as a head coach. I do have the Browns 3-2 winning the game.
Oh, man. Talking about like 1950s football. I love it.
That's the over, by the way, on the over.
Yeah, I bet it would be. Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns here, too. Jets traded away 2 of their 3 best players overall on their team. When you do that, it's a clear sign to the rest of the team. This is a rebuilding year. We're kind of throwing in the towel, and we're just saying we're done. So Browns are real bad, but I think the Browns are going to pick up this win. I mean, they beat the Packers, for crying out loud. So
stop, man.
So I'm taking Cleveland here.
This is actually going to be this next game is actually
This is
should be a really
game.
good game.
Yeah.
2 MVP candidates, Baker and Drake May. Right now, I think Drake May, if the season ended today, he should win MVP.
Yeah, he's looking like it.
You know, my brother's talking about, Sam Darnold MVP. Yeah, stop that.
He's been playing.
He also says Jackson Smith and Jigba is the best receiver in the NFL.
He's a little.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a little biased.
All right, Patriots and going to Tampa to take on Baker and the Buccaneers. I don't know who to take in this game because I really like both teams. I've always been a Baker fan, but Mike Vrabel has the Patriots playing really well. Drake May's looking like the MVP. I am going to take the home team and take Tampa Bay over New England.
I'm going to go against that. I think the Patriots have some momentum. They're on a 5-game winning streak, I believe.
Yes.
And I don't think it's going to stop. I think they're going to, the Buccaneers offense a little depleted. I think Patriots will be able to put some points on, and I don't think the Bucs offense will be able to keep up with May. So Patriots cover, they're already favored by 2, or Tampa Bay is favored by 2.5. They will lose. So the Patriots will win on the back of the offense and Drake May.
Yeah, going into this, I was thinking about taking the Buccaneers because they're going to have Ibuka back. There's a few other guys like Bucky Irvin. He's questionable, so he could potentially be back for this game. But man, I got to take. I think we're going to take the Patriots on that winning streak. Ramondre Stevenson is going to be coming back as well as what it seems like right now. We'll see what happens. So I think the run game gets a little bit better. And they've just been on such a roll. I love Vrabel. I think he's an awesome coach. And I love to see that this Patriots team has done a complete 180, complete turnaround. So this will be a huge statement win for New England. I'm taking the Pats here.
All right, another awful game that for some reason Adam decided to put on here.
Hey, this might be a good game.
Well, it's 2 toilet teams.
Okay.
Jacksonville and Houston. Remember when they played... when the Texans played at Jacksonville last year, that's when Trevor Lawrence had that huge head injury and got hurt. So it's a division rivalry game. That injury that happened last year, there's a little bit of something here with these 2 teams. So I think that could make it an interesting game. But I am going to take the Houston Texans at home.
That's interesting. Are you thinking CJ Stroud's going to play?
Oh, wait.
No, he made the pick.
Wait.
He made the pick.
No.
Stroud's in concussion protocol at the moment.
Yeah. No, you take it back if you want, man.
I'm sorry, I forgot about C.J. Stroud.
We don't know yet. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's been confirmed. So,
well, still, either way, I'm not trusting either a hurt Stroud or Davis Mills. So I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the wise guys may think he's playing because right now the spread's only 1.5 in favor of Houston. So I'm guessing they may have some information. The game is in Houston, which is maybe worth a couple points. But the only way the Texans will win is if C.J. Stroud plays, and I don't believe that he is. That was a pretty nasty hit. I think the Jaguars pulled a 1.5 point upset and maybe win by a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to take the Jags whether Stroud was going to play. I do think the Jags are a lot better than what their record suggests. Not crazy better, but I think it is better than maybe what their record suggests. But, and I'm not totally sold on the Texans. So I was going to take the Jags anyway. So I got real excited when you took the Texans, but I think all three of us are going to agree here that the Jags pick up the dub.
All right.
Sorry, Adam.
No big deal.
The Rams at the Niners. This is going to be a really good NFC West game. I think, Seattle's the third best team in that division. So these are the two best teams in that division. I do think the Rams and Niners are better than Seattle. Call me crazy, but Stafford's playing really well. Really well. And the numbers he's been putting up, especially for his age, have been great for him. The spread is LA minus 4.5. Over/under's pretty high.
Yeah.
Total number. I like, Stafford's been on a roll, although the Niners have been playing well. I got to go with Stafford, and I'm going to take the Rams on the road at Santa Clara.
That's a good pick. This is the one I looked at for all the NFL games. This is the game when I put my most effort into kind of thinking. Stafford doesn't always play terribly well on grass. He has been playing well, but he plays much better on turf or at home, either when he was in Detroit or in LA. McCaffrey laid a dud last week. He was been my bell horse or bell collar for the fantasy league so far, but he definitely laid a dud last week. This is a different game for me, but I think I'm going to go with the Niners because it's at home.
Yeah,
It'll be a good game. Probably the best game of the weekend, I believe.
I think so, too. I think this is going to be a great game. A lot on the line. But I think Stafford and Nakua is just playing too well, so I'm going to take the Rams here. I'm not the biggest fan of Mac Jones, so give me the better quarterback in this situation. So
What's
I'm
wrong
going to
with
take
Mac
the Rams.
Jones?
Nothing crazy wrong with Mac Jones. I think he's serviceable, but definitely one of the better backups in the league. But I got to take the favorite here and go with Stafford.
In the Sunday night game, Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh going to LA to take on Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. This is to me, this has like a classic feel to it. Harbaugh, he likes more physical, power running type football, and the Steelers have always been that kind of classic team where steel curtain defense, they want to run the ball too, and I think that's the kind of game it's going to be, and I think it's going to be a great game. I really don't know who to pick because, I always got to rock with my guy A-Rod, but I love Harbaugh, and I never want to pick against him.
What's he going to do?
Do I love Harbaugh more, or do I love Aaron Rodgers more?
Yeah, that's right.
I am going to take Harbaugh at home against the Steelers.
Okay.
All right. I guess I made my mistake on my quarterback because I thought Purdy was going to play this week. So I might have changed my call if I thought that it was going to be Mac Jones playing, but that's right. I'll keep it the 49ers. But going to the next game, Steelers come off a great win. It was at Indy. Last week, Chargers, it looks like they lost Joe Alt for the year, which is their big lineman. They did get one in before the trade deadline. I like the Chargers. I like Jim Harbaugh. I like what he's doing with the team. Steelers, too inconsistent. They did get a good win, but I could see them traveling out to the West Coast and laying an egg. So I'm going to go Chargers.
I like the Chargers, but I saw something in that
But-
Steelers defense last week.
Uh-oh.
That Steelers defense looked nasty. So I'm going to say the Steelers will get this win.
Wow.
I don't know if I gotta look up who the favorite is in that game because I'm not sure. So right now,
2.5.
yeah, Chargers 2.5. I like the upset here. I think Steelers have a really good shot to win this game. So again, I want to make this interesting, man, and I'm gonna have you root against Aaron Rodgers in this game. So I am taking the Steelers here.
Oh, man. And the final game, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, who are you picking in this one?
I'm being serious. I really don't know.
Hey,
You know, I always have to rock with Green Bay,
but Philly, man.
but this past week, I have not been happy with Green Bay. Not at all whatsoever. We did nothing at the trade deadline, which is sad. Sad. Matt LaFleur needs to go. He should have been fired already after last year. I hate to go
Here
on
he
this
goes.
tangent
Here he
again.
goes.
I'm just really not happy with Green Bay. Laid an egg against Carolina. Carolina is just about as pathetic as Cleveland is. So, and we tied with the Cowboys too. We lose to bad teams, tie with the Cowboys who are not good, but then we beat good teams. So I don't know who we are. But Philly, you know, they've been up and down, but the Eagles are still the defending champs and they're still a good team. Monday night at Lambeau. Normally in that case, I would say Green Bay, but I've lost hope in my team enough to the point where I am going to go against my fellow owners, and I am going to take the Eagles against the Packers.
Wow.
That is interesting. I didn't see
To
that
say
one coming.
to say the least.
Hey, to start, what do you think about the Packers uniforms here? I loved last week's throwbacks, and I absolutely love all the white helmet, white jerseys, white
Yes.
pants. I love.
Yes, I
both
agree.
Those uniforms are good.
I love the all whites. I do love the all blues and the brown helmets. I do wish the yellow, like the numbers, were a little bit like more bright. But no, I love both uniforms. So, anyways, carry on.
All right, well, that's good to know. I do too. Yeah, I think they're going to bounce back. I think they are going to be embarrassed. And they played home last week, Panthers. I know the Panthers are getting better. They're still not good, I would say, but getting better. I like that coach, Panthers, but they should not have lost that game. Inexcusable. I like LaFleur. Yeah, they had a bad game. I think the defense will come up big. I've been disappointed in Micah Parsons. He's on my fantasy. He's not even getting 10 points a game as a defensive lineman. I think he has a huge game. Him and Rasheed Gary have a big game. They beat the Eagles. They get some momentum going into the game that I'm going to be at 2 weeks. So I think they're going to beat the Eagles, beat the Giants, and then they'll have some momentum going into that home Vikings game that I'll be at. So go Packers. I'll pick them for you, David.
Well, you know, we talked off the show at one point, David, and we talked about how
Yeah,
you
I
showed me
said
their
some things
schedule.
we can't say.
Well,
on
no,
here
but
about
you
the team.
showed me their schedule, and I pointed towards one game, and I said, "You're gonna have to watch out for that game," and you laughed at me, and it was Carolina.
I will admit, I did laugh at you
Yeah.
when you said "watch out." For
I said, "Watch out for
Carolina."
Carolina."
I said that's a joke.
Yeah. But one team I didn't say to look out for, and that was the Eagles, because I think you guys can beat the Eagles. I really do.
But see, and that's my thing though, because we lose to pathetic teams like
Yeah.
the Panthers and the Browns, but then we can beat good teams like the Lions and the Eagles.
Yeah.
And we still have to play Denver.
So it's one of the few times this year, David, I'm going to be picking the Green Bay Packers to win at home. I think Parsons has a good game. I think a lot of
He
these.
needs to have a good
Yeah.
game, not just for Nick's fantasy team, but just in general, he needs to have
Yeah,
a good game.
yeah, and I think Jacobs does a great job on the ground. I think he's actually able to penetrate this defense, which is crazy because the Eagles have such a good defense. But I'm going to take the Packers here. I think it'll be a very close game, but I more just wanted to do it because I hope it comes down to this last game and you have to root against the Packers. So I'm gonna.
God, I hope this doesn't happen. Where I have to root against
I'm
them.
gonna pick the Cheeseheads of Green Bay.
If the Packers lose this game, I'm not talking about them next week.
Oh yeah, come on, man.
All right, well that's gonna do it for our picks. We we're eventually going to get to the end, and we did.
Yep.
So now that we got that covered, check JTV.tv for all the high school games Friday night. We'll have all the scores and stats and photos and interviews and video highlights and et cetera, from Friday night's games. So, again, thank you to Prate's Place for their support all season long with the picks. Go check them out downtown Grass Lake and order online. I tried to order online on Monday, but I forgot they're closed on Monday because I kept thinking it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I kept calling them, and they went to voicemail. And I'm like, something's not right. And the people who I was with were like, David, it's Monday. I'm like, oh, well, that's why. Anyways, thank you to Prate's Place. Order online at pratesplace.com. And thank you again, Nick Laporte, for joining the show. We appreciate it, and we appreciate your support and for you watching the show. So thank you as always.
No problem. It's always fun. I hope it's hard for Napoleon and Lumen because they're both local teams, but I did pick against some local teams. I hope all the local teams do win. It'll be a good weekend for football. Go Pack! I do hope the Packers win, and that's the game that Adam wins.
I really hope so. That'd be a great ending to
I'm
this.
not coming in Monday if that happens.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
All right.
The game he picks against them, he loses and has to wear Lion City.
Yeah,
Please,
so good.
please.
So good.
All
Thanks,
right.
Nick.
On that note, thank you, Nick, and thank you to Prate's Place. We'll be back here on JTV. Welcome back on JTV. Thanks to Nick Laporte for joining the show. And thank you again to the Praters and Prate's Place for their support of the show and for JTV Sports all season long. So I think next Wednesday, we showed you a little sneak peek in our 100th show.
Yep.
We took a little field trip out there.
That's right.
But we're going to show you the whole thing next Wednesday.
Yes, next Wednesday we're going to do it.
So you'll get to see that. So thank you to them. We had a great lunch out there.
Yes, we
too.
did.
I still can't believe I thought Monday was Tuesday. And
That stinks.
I called them on the wrong day.
Oh, man.
Real quick here before we go, volleyball postseason beginning this week. You can check out jtv.tv for the full schedule for our area teams and mhsa.com for the up-to-date game times and where they're played, etc. So there's a couple districts where the semis are Thursday and the finals Saturday or Wednesday, Thursday. It's all different. It's not all the same day. So be sure to check out our website in mhsa.com for the volleyball schedule. And we have all the volleyball photos and video highlights and scores as well on our website. And while you're at it there, subscribe to JTV Sports for free 99. Just free. There's no 99 cents with it, but just for free. Especially because right now for fall sports, we just have these 5 football teams left and then volleyball playoffs. So if you want to stay up to date on all the scores and photo galleries, and if you just want to check out everything happening that we've covered with your school, you'll get a weekly newsletter sent to your email address with everything happening in your school. And you can subscribe to more than one school, too. You can do all the schools. Now, if you're like me, you don't want your email blowing up, but you can still subscribe to all, I think, 20 schools or however many there are. So do that for free at jtv.tv. Right under JTV Sports in the drop-down, there's a subscribe button. Hit that, fill out the info, and you'll be all set. And before we go, also want to give a shout-out to sophomore basketball star from Lumen, Christy Kenna Hunt. Another Division I offer for her. Clemson.
Wow.
The Clemson Tigers.
ACC's own Clemson.
Yep. Already been offered by Michigan State. I got to imagine Michigan will be coming soon.
Yep.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
But I believe that is almost 15 offers for her
Wow.
now in all Division I. So
Good for her.
congratulations. And another offer to Clemson. We had a Columbia Central basketball graduate a few years ago that played at Clemson.
No way.
So
Oh, that's
I don't know if
awesome.
she's still in school for Clemson or not, or if
Yeah.
she's still there. I'd have to look. But they could be teammates.
Yeah, that's right.
Never know. So, all right, you're going to Lumen for Napoleon Lumen.
I am. I can't wait.
And me and Austin Curtis will be back out at the Port Spartan Stadium for Springport New Lothrop. And I know a lot of other statewide media will be there that I've talked to as well. This is pretty high up on a lot of people's lists. So,
well, I know my game's going to be fun too. I mean, look at these two teams. We talked about it. It's going to be fun to see these two local area teams clash. So I'm excited.
They have not a whole lot of history, but more recent history
for sure
with each other. I still think if there was any time Napoleon would beat Lumen, it would have been that semifinal.
Right.
Because that was a really good Napoleon team.
It was.
So we'll have all the scores and video highlights and interviews and more at JTV.tv and on our Facebook and Twitter Friday nights after the games. So thanks to Nick Laporte. Thanks to Preet's Place. Shout out again to Matt Kibbe and the Insurance Circle Agency. That's Adam. I'm David. And Dylan Dingler, Gold Glove Award winner, by the way. I wanted to mention that.
Let's go.
Go Tigers. Talk to you next week.
6-7.